I like to entertain my brain with music that primarily boosts more of the sound rather than the lyrics behind it. And because of that, my recent artist rotation probably looks like this. And some of these artists do have a lot of nuance behind their music, like having lore or storytelling behind it, but more often than not, I don't think that's gonna be my main focus whenever I listen to something. And I think everyone can get behind the idea how nice it is that music nowadays is very accessible. Like in my phone, I don't use apps like Spotify or YouTube Premium. I use something called NewPipe or maybe YouTube Revanced if I'm feeling funny. Because artists tend to either upload their music themselves to YouTube or YouTube themselves will auto-upload it under their name. Getting to know a lot of songs stems from mostly just browsing the internet, getting it from the games that I play or from the songs that my friends listen to. And you tend to get the best ones from finds that you don't actively search for, and it makes them a bit more valuable in a sense. Another reliable source that I like to consider is rhythm games. Considering that my older playlists tend to favor towards more on that side, it expanded my music taste to a degree where I am fine on listening to almost everything. In other words, I am not bounded to just one or a few genres, so I just listen to anything that I pretty much enjoy. I've heard a little saying from somewhere from someone that I probably do not remember that says to know someone who loves music is to know that they will listen to anything that they like, regardless of genre. And I can totally get behind this idea, which is why I don't understand that a lot of people tend to shed video game OSTs in a bad light. Like, I would genuinely think you're stoned as fuck if you say that the finals has a bad soundtrack, because the only negative take I could only consider valid is a genuine critique towards the music or the fact that you just say it's not your taste. But sometimes nowadays people like to favor in the fact that if you listen to video game OSTs, you're a bum nerd, you suck, you're fucking stupid, you should be hanged or something. It's like they speak with insane amounts of condescendingness. It's just freaking crazy because listening to video game OSTs is just, yeah, it's normal. Which also leads into my next point. I've been enjoying Blue Archive for a little while now, and I can totally say that BA is one of those games with a solid soundtrack. And this game, believe it or not, has like a really huge track list. It's not as big as something like Smash Bros, but big enough to leave me a bit bewildered when checking how many it was. As of writing, Blue Archive clocks in right about 350 plus tracks, with some of them not being revealed yet. And I took this data from the wiki, and for some reason, these two tracks are labeled in the 10,000s and some of these are in negatives. Honestly, I don't know if that's intentional or what it truly means, so. But I feel like this game has evolved in a way where even the soundtrack itself started changing and becoming more varied in genres. And that is something that a lot of you should start seeing. Or in this video's case, start listening. Haha, yeah, I'm so fucking funny, dude. A detail that I've been noticing recently is that these soundtracks slowly strayed away from its original sound and started being a bit more varied in its genre. I wouldn't exactly say it no longer holds its original formula, as it just started adapting as time goes on and started adding more parts to the formula that it becomes less recognizable to its former sound. The early parts of the soundtracks really felt like they have this certain feel that really screams Blue Archive, and the more recent ones don't really feel like they have it anymore. Hence why sometimes whenever I read newer event stories using newer tracks, it feels a bit off. I think it's a matter of just not being used to it yet. But in a certain way, I like to see this progression being in tandem with the idea of how Blue Archive really values character development, and it being somewhat related to how the songs are being composed now. The more the story progresses, the more varied the tracks become in genre. And by no means this change is a bad thing, really. I am singing my praises towards it because it really does create more room for innovation and creativity, as the composers can experiment with newer things and probably bring the potential to newer heights. I feel like despite having only been playing this game since late 2023, I've never thought to see the day that I'd be reminiscing about the time where I waited the game to download its data on the loading screen. And that was when I just first installed Blue Archive, so it hasn't been that long, but I feel like due to the shit I've been doing since then, it really does feel like it's been forever. What makes it more interesting is the idea of me even playing this game in the first place. Because Blue Archive is not exactly the kind of game I would be playing, considering it is the only gacha game that I really played. So I wouldn't expect myself in a million years to be playing this game at all, especially with the reputation it has. But I am rather glad that I did, because it has brought me to the idea of reminiscing to the past just because of a piece of music. Something about a piece of memory you still remember from all of those years ago that most likely is the last piece of time to a lot of other people. And that idea seems a bit unique for me. I've had situations where I get reminded of those times and just want to experience them again. Like a core memory wanting to be unlocked. And solely not due to the fact that I just want to steer my life into a different direction, but just wanting to feel that small pocket of time that my memory could only serve great. And it was a pleasant surprise to me that some songs in Blue Archive really resonated with me, even enough to trigger those memories being replayed in my brain. Like, I genuinely wasn't expecting some of these tracks to be so good for me that I started reminiscing and feeling all nostalgic. A song like Target for Love, I bet a lot of you probably forgot about that song. When I first started playing Blue Archive, that was the first song that I stumbled upon outside the game. And I literally could not listen to this song because of how emotional and melancholic I get from it. Probably due to the soft melody that the song has and the meaning behind it, oh my god. Just the idea of the students writing a love letter towards Sensei to thank him for his guidance and support. I can really see the prestige and respect these people have for him. And this song really felt heartfelt and hopeful, and it really makes the song way more special. I've enjoyed a plentiful of fan-made content of Blue Archive, mainly fan art, but the rare cases being fan-made music. I wouldn't say that I actively search or listen to new ones, but over the course of my time with this game, I've found a couple that I've fairly enjoyed recently. Tiha Studio is a music artist that primarily focuses on making relaxing music, and has made dozen lo-fi mixes for Blue Archive, and I've had the time to listen to all of these. And I'd say they're great to the point where I literally listen to them as I sleep. It's that relaxing, and I've been sleeping more calmly because of it. I also took the time to listen to their recent album, and I enjoyed it a lot also. I highly recommend giving them a listen. It's pretty great. And speaking of albums, there is this jazzy arrangement of BA done by the Beat Wizard. I can't express this enough, but I absolutely love this album, and I love the take they have towards the soundtrack. There's also this great remix out there called Hello to Aoharu, and just describing it doesn't really do the song justice, so I just recommend listening it to yourself. And I also haven't mentioned the time where I absolutely raw dogged the Blue Archive MV playlist and came out with a few that I really enjoyed. Although this wasn't in the playlist, but this CNC special OST is also something that I think is really good. There are like a lot more fan-made stuff that I haven't discovered that I'll probably like, so if you do have any that you think I might like, do drop it down in the comments because I would love to check it out. Let me present my doubts. Blue Archive is a game that has a reputation for having a community that's a bit funny. I've addressed this in multiple situations already, but the anxiety never rests. And I swear to God, I feel like I'm gonna get slimed at any moment if I speak more on that. But with that in mind, I do want to address the kind of realization that I got when I was writing this video. I have a constant issue with trying to appeal to an imaginary audience. What I mean is being anxious and thinking people judge you for whatever you do. Which does happen, but not as likely as you think it would. But it does still produce issues every now and then. It's one of those scenarios where the answer to this issue is so obvious, yet you just can't seem to overcome it. But rattling my brain for this topic has given me the self-assurance that holy shit, nobody actually cares that much. Look, you are your own man. Therefore, no one judges you as harsh as yourself. And I thought to myself that I seemed pretty stupid to be laughing at some dialogue a PNG made. It seems stupid, it feels stupid and foolish to be moved with something like this. And I feel like a lot of people would view it that way, but honestly, I think that's what makes it so special. It is okay. It is completely fine to be liking these kind of things, to be feeling these emotions, to be moved with a piece of fiction. Just because it is fiction, and just because it seems silly, doesn't mean it holds no power to motivate and move people. It's those little things that truly make it so wonderful, whether it be something stupid from what people think. If you think it's great, then it's great.
Dude, it's like 3 in a row. Please just let me get something. You fucker. You fucker. You fucker. Bitch. Yay. Wow. See how easy that was? Yeah, you asshole. You see how easy that was? Anyway,